We are searching for a holistic practitioner.
Several thousand chemicals in the word fragrance and a synthetic product, which are already scary AF on a bottle of pills. You're lucky if you find a few ingredients that you can pronounce and you can know what they are, but for the most part, you won't know what's in there. It really is if in doubt, without doubt. If you can't read it, you shouldn't even be considering it. You're playing Russian roulette.
Someone that can take care of her mother-in-law. We are in a search for you, basically.
And I was like, okay, I really am the black sheep of my family now, and I guess I'm nuts, or you are. Manufactured, as in M-A-N, manufactured. It's made in a lab. It doesn't grow on the earth. It's created. It's manufactured. But that alone should make someone's eyebrows go up and make their antenna go up. It's like, if this doesn't make sense, this is completely not aligned. There's something wrong with this picture.
Welcome back to Soul Centered Wellness. My name is Alejandro Santillan, and this is Coach Dana. She's a holistic, natural, off-grid living. She's also a writer, editor, artist, a feminine woman, and she's an animal lover, vegan chef, homeschool, herbalist. That's a lot to say.
Hey, you really nailed it. You put a big smile on my face. That was beautiful. I love it. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
That really put a smile on my face. It sounded great. You said it so beautifully. Thank you.
I want to let my audience know how I met Dana was through Reddit, and she was looking for support. So when I stumbled across her message, I was actually feeling empathy, and I also thought she was very interesting because, well, she's a holistic practitioner, or maybe we can call you a holistic mama, a feminine mama.
Yeah, I'm not a practitioner yet, although I'm studying. I'm a coach and a mentor. Sure.
All right. So a coach and a mentor then.
There you go.
But
right.
We are actually, Dana and I, we are searching for a holistic practitioner. So someone that can take care of her mother-in-law. And so if anybody out there that is into holistic, maybe a holistic practitioner, or knows anything about living a holistic lifestyle, we are in a search for you, basically.
Most importantly, someone who can live with her. She needs a roommate. She needs a friend. She's tired of being with mainstream folks who don't get it, and she wants to be with a natural person who understands. And they don't necessarily have to be a practitioner, just someone who is holistic, or like I am, someone who is natural and isn't mainstream, because she really wants help with that, and she doesn't want to be around toxic chemicals. She wants to be with people who use their head and are very aware.
Yeah.
So basically, someone like me. She loves me and she loves what I'm about, and she would love to be with someone who is like me. I mean, she's elderly, and it'd be nice if it was someone older, but she'd be happy with someone younger if they're wise, aware, and completely holistic and natural, or at least, pretty close to it, and of course, unvaccinated. But it would really make her happy.
Where does she reside?
We're in the coastal bend. She's in Corpus Christi, and I'm in another part. But yeah, I usually just say coastal bend because, we might try to get her to go somewhere else in Cleburne County. But the most important part is Cleburne County, or somewhere another conservative county in the coastal bend or nearby. But it would be nice if it would be someone who would be happy to move with her. I really appreciate your letting me share. Actually, my husband too would make all of us happy for her to have someone like this in her life. She would feel a lot better.
Or if anybody knows of someone that can help her, send her information in the comments down below so that way we can support her.
It's really important that they be a patriot. It's for obvious reasons. She really wants to be with someone who is conservative. I can't blame her because I'm the same way. Or at least someone who is, working on it. There, I said it.
No holding back.
No, thank you.
You're welcome. And today we are here to talk about her personal experience. We're here to talk about her skincare routine, how she's able to age gracefully. We're going to talk about what she does for her health. And can you share with us your journey towards your holistic living and where it began?
So I grew up in a mainstream family, a toxic one, fortunately. I'm the black sheep of the family. It's been really freaking rough. From the age 10, my mother offered me Lipton tea, and I looked at her and I said, no, where's the chamomile? And she said, you're adopted. And I said, well, that's all I needed to hear. I've always been the weirdo of the family, and which obviously these days, crunchy moms were supposed to be weird. At the age of 16, went to, let's call him a head, because that's the abbreviation, it's like a short for pediatrician. He was allopathic and smoking in front of me, which really, really pissed me off even more. When I was on my feminine thing, my period thing, he gave me ibuprofen, and I pretty much gagged on it. I said, that's it, I'm done with pills. I was already wise beyond my years, and Big Pharma to me was like the big bad wolves. And really ugly in my eyes, already at 16. Actually 13, I was already feeling really weird about it, and my parents would offer me things that I just didn't agree with at all. No affinity. I did have affinity for herbs, and I had no choice but accept the fact that I was the only weirdo in the family, and nobody else was into natural living. How I found out about herbs, I don't know. That's the one mystery. I've talked to my husband about it, and I don't know where I came up with it, but then again, I'm an indigo, so obviously something in my consciousness and my soul already knew. So instead of trying to make sense of it, question where that came from, because I was growing up in an allopathic family, I just went with it. The older I got, like by 16, 17, it just, everybody kept trying to push pills on me, and I'm like, no, it doesn't work for me. Forget it. And I was risking alienation, but I already was. But yeah, it was really hard. But I came to acceptance by 18. I started doing the serenity prayer, and I realized I had no choice but to just live my life and deal with my family until I was 18 and I'd be old enough to make my own decisions. It was really hard. Cried a lot. I mean, I couldn't deal with it. Then again, what child who is a hippie herbalist is going to be able to handle being in a mainstream family? It's really rough. I've chatted with so many people online who've been through the same thing. I stopped fighting it. I stopped trying to get through to them, and I stopped trying to ask for the thing that worked for me. I just did it on my own. Unfortunately, as I got older, like 2021, I met my then boyfriend, and he was already having an affinity for natural living too, although he was still mainstream. But he was the first person who said to me, don't give it, what your family thinks. Just do what you've got to do. And if they don't like it, that's their problem, not yours. I just continued with my journey, and I just kept moving forward. I just decided to do what worked for me. I felt really good about it because there's a huge difference between taking a pill and taking an herb. An herb feels really good going to your body, whereas a pill is like a bunch of plastic poison, and it's like a foreign object. And so I drank chamomile tea, and it felt really good. I was so grateful to have an awakening at a very young age. It felt so good. I cried a lot, first with grief and then joy, because I felt really empowered and I felt free. So I moved into my own place. I moved out on my own, my boyfriend, and it just evolved in that way. We kept getting really passionate about natural living, and it just made so much sense. What was really the clincher, there's the word, the clincher. We were near a natural food shop, and let's just say that we were visiting a relative, and they had all kinds of toxic stuff in the freezer, and we're like, no, we're done with this. The next thing we knew, we were reading the label, and we couldn't pronounce anything. And in the Jewish faith, they have an expression, it's a kosher thing. When in doubt, do without. Well, that's exactly what we followed. Now, I'm not into that anymore as far as the religion, but that's not really relevant. But I realized we both did, when you can't pronounce it, you don't eat it. You see a bunch of chemicals in the food, and it's like, what is this crap? You can't pronounce it. Wheat flour, maybe eggs, maybe soy milk, whatever. But all this other stuff that's like a mile long, forget it. So we went to the local organic shop, and it just changed their life. We went in there to find out what we could do, and we walked out 3 hours later with 3 carts full of like $200 of amazing organic, natural, holistic products. And it was the most beautiful feeling in the world. And we walked out crying, tears of joy, and it was the best day of our life. Some people go transform quicker than others. Depends on the pain. You know, if you have enough pain and you can't deal with what your life is like, well, it's not going to take long. And it didn't take long for us at all. Some people it takes 6 months. It took us less than 2 months to do it. We were so motivated. We didn't want any part of it. We didn't want to poison our bodies anymore, especially when we found out, when you know, you can't unknow what you know, right? And we were reading Natural Living magazines, and it just was so enlightening, and it was such an awakening. It was such a release. And we've been living this way for 32 years. Got married 32 years ago. And we're best friends, and we're the most passionate. I know that there are a lot of anti-Big Pharma folks out there, but I am the most passionate anti-Big Pharma person you'll ever met. Can't stand it, and I don't like talking about it, but it's the elephant. I lost my mother, my father, and half my family to either the vax or the pills or antidepressants. Take your pick. I just remember something really important. That was one of the things that really changed my life. I stayed at my grandmother's when she was alive, and I stayed overnight, and I woke up to a really weird noise, like bottles clinking and banging against each other, and like, what the heck am I hearing? I was like 10 years old. I kind of backpedaled a little bit, but it's an important part. I was about maybe 13, and I went into my grandmother's kitchen. I'm like, okay, what the heck is this? I knew she was on meds, but this was like, whoa. I had to hold on to the wall because I thought I was going to pass out from seeing this horrible thing. She was organizing 10 bottles of pills on her kitchen counter. And I was like, okay, I really am the black sheep of my family now, and I guess I'm nuts, or you are. And I said to my grandmother, what's this? And I walked away crying on the couch. I'm like, I said to my mother the next day, I can't do this again. I can't stay there. That was like such an eye-opening, painful day. I mean, it's still indelible in my mind and my consciousness. I try not to think about it, but it's just like, was one of the worst things I've ever seen. Believe it or not, my uncle actually agreed, didn't like the idea, even though it was mainstream. Now, going back to where I am today, I appreciate your understanding by going back and forth. I don't want to be confusing, but it's an important reference because this is why who I am. I am who I am. I haven't seen a doctor in a long time. It's been years. I went to a allopathic like one in my 20s, and that was just like big mistake. And I said to my husband, you know what? We walked down. I'm like, that's it. No more allopathic. Forget about it. No way, dude. Actually, at all. So basically, yes, I am a homeschooling, natural living, holistic mama, herbalist, oily. Plant medicine is my life. Big Pharma hasn't existed in my life in 30 years. I don't even acknowledge it. Unfortunately, I'm forced to because I keep seeing ads on TV and people talking about it online, which is really hard to avoid. But I'm spending less time on social media for that very reason. But thankfully, there are natural people online. Natural living is the best thing in the world, and it is God loving. It is herbs has always been growing for so many centuries, and still will. Oh, and by the way, I came up with an interesting meme. My husband and I were talking about it. Manufactured, as in M-A-N, manufactured. It's made in a lab. It doesn't grow on the earth. It's created. It's manufactured. That alone should make someone's eyebrows go up and make their antenna go up. It's like, if this doesn't make sense, this is completely not aligned. There's something wrong with this picture. And there are so many reasons why we stopped and we don't want anything to do with it. But the whole biggest reason is medical freedom. And we don't want anything to do with the medieval medical mafia. I just don't want anything to do with them. My inner voice talks to me all the time, and as natural living as I've been, it's kept me closer to God, and I'm very grateful. My husband and I, we're both totally natural living, and we take care of our child in a natural way. And my favorite essential oils are sandalwood, orange, peppermint. I know I could go on and on and on and on, and I know you're cool with it, but I could easily talk for hours about it. In fact, I've done that. I've actually talked for an hour talking about it, but how can I not? I'm very passionate, and I'm also chemical free, completely clean, green. I am chemically sensitive, and I can't stand synthetic fragrance, and I stay far away from them. 1,000 feet away is not long enough. I'm completely natural, and My credo is we're organic or we're nothing, and I'm not going to be nude, but I'd rather be nude than put chemicals on me. I treat my body like a temple, and I'm trying to help my mother-in-law do the same thing. And I look forward to the day, whenever that happens, when the horrible, corrupt Big Pharma disappears, whenever that happens. It's wishful thinking, I can dream, right?
It doesn't cost a thing to dream.
No, it doesn't. I'm a dreamer. And as John Lennon said, I imagine and I just keep hoping and praying that one morning I'm going to wake up and they're gone. I'm really praying for that day.
So is that the reason why you went off grid? You're tired of Big Pharma.Maybe you're tired of how society is going.
That's an understatement. At the moment, unfortunately, when I say off grid, it is our goal. It is our intention. We're still working on it. Unfortunately, we're not able to at the moment, but that is our future goal. Hopefully, near future. We also want to create a community and like an eco-village, basically with, I don't know if you've ever heard of them, Thomas Banyakia, the Hopi Prophecy. Does that sound familiar?
No, I haven't.
Okay, well, we need to know who we're in the river with when mainstream and natural don't mesh. And I wouldn't want to be in the river surviving with people who are taking pills and using chemicals. I'd rather be with people, and it's important to be with the people in the river who you feel safe with and can trust. And he actually addressed you one a long time ago. But that is the whole idea of being in a community with like-minded people. That's what the river is. It's a metaphor. It's symbolic. But then again, if you were in the river with someone, you would need to know if you feel if you trust that person and you're on the same page and you're aligned. And that's what's important. We're hoping to be off grid sometime soon, but at the moment, it's we're working on it. My husband is seeing what he can do, like with solar panels and such. But at the moment, we're still off grid, so it's more like it's a dream. we're not giving up on it.
Another question I have for you is, what do you think are the biggest misconceptions women face about aging gracefully? Because I know you talk about that a lot.
Thank you, and I appreciate you asking me questions. It's jogging my memory. Yeah, the reason why I use that hashtag a lot is because the difference between me and most, I'm actually pardon me, I'm 54. Most women my age don't look the way I do. I met a few holistic women in their 50s. In fact, my long distance friend, who's a naturopath who I've never met, we've been chatting for years. She's in her 60s, and she looks really good. I've only met a few. Most of them are younger than me, unfortunately. But yes, I am aging slowly, gracefully. If I had kept on that path with eating what I call crap, food and poison, and putting chemicals on my skin, I would have wrinkles, I would be in terrible shape, and I would be like everybody else. So the aging slowly is when I put essential oil on my skin, when I get natural vitamin D instead of active sunscreen, and I allow myself to get, from the sun rays. It's a misnomer that it's harmful, because basically the cosmetics industry wants you to believe that it's harmful, but what's harmful is putting chemicals on your skin. So I love the sun. If aging gracefully is living well, is taking care of your body, clean living, and when I say clean, I mean chemical free. I'm very completely natural, and I take care of my skin and my hair, and it's all connected. Your skin is it's like a sponge. The moment you put a chemical on your skin, all bets are off. But when you put something natural, it absorbs it, and it really is good. It's much better, much healthier. It's and of course meditation and yoga. All these things help you age much slower. It's having an alkaline, high frequency lifestyle is so wonderful, and it really helps.
So why do you think we use sunscreen for?
Okay, so if I could keep that succinct, sunscreen, I do put a little bit, like if I'm at the beach and the sun is really, really intense, I use something with natural essential oils. I only do it if it's like 100 degrees, because, sunburn is an issue and it's uncomfortable, but it's not going to make you sick and it's not going to kill you. It's better to expose your skin to sun. It's a real myth that you have to be careful, but it's okay to put a little bit on, if it's natural, if you want to protect your skin. Like, I'm fair skinned, unfortunately, and I don't want to get sunburned, but I really don't worry about it much. It's a real sad myth. But then again, the MSM mainstream media has got everybody brainwashed, so propaganda.
Well, not to mention these sunscreens and products, they all have chemicals in it.
Yeah.
And people think that it's helping them age gracefully or helping them.
And I stopped using it a long time ago. Sorry, I didn't mean to talk over you.
No, that's okay. What do you think the side effects are using these synthetic skincare products?
Well, I will just sum it up to a few. There's a lot, but I'll sum it up to a few. The more toxic a product is, the more toxic chemicals and neurotoxins and phthalates and hormone disruptors, the more toxic stuff that's in it, the more you're going to have problems. Wrinkles and liver spots and just, it's going to turn your life upside down. Sum it up that way. It's not going to make you feel good, and you're going to have more health problems. And there really isn't any difference between chemical things that you put on your skin with, other than, it's a difference between that and swallowing a pill, because one you're putting on your skin and one you're swallowing in your mouth. I mean, it really doesn't make a difference. Chemicals are chemicals. It doesn't really make a damn difference. Or should I say dark difference, sorry. But it's the same. I mean, toxic is toxic. Petrochemicals are petrochemicals. And the worst part is that the word fragrance is not required to disclose, but fragrance is not required by the FDA. Several thousand chemicals in the word fragrance in a synthetic product, which already is scary AF. On a bottle of pills, you're lucky if you find a few ingredients that you can pronounce and you even know what they are, but for the most part, you won't know what's in there. It really is, if in doubt, without doubt. If you can't read it, pass it by. You shouldn't be looking at it. You shouldn't even be considering it. You're playing Russian roulette. It's the real dangerous game.
Wow. And so we've been basically brainwashed.
Yeah, exactly. And we're so grateful we woke up and we started talking to people who are natural, because they totally understood. And my naturopath friend who I've been chatting with, she educated me a lot, and that was all she wrote. I mean, if you know, you know, and you can't unknow what you know, and you can't go back. Once you've gone over that hump and you transform your life and you become, they tip the scales and you go natural and healthy, you can't go back unless you've got a death wish.
And that reminds me of each person's great awakening. Maybe at 10 years old is when you found out that prescription is not the way to go.
Right.
And at 30, perhaps that can be the great awakening, the spiritual awakening you had.
Exactly. Thank you. That's exactly what I was saying. Yes. What you just said, word for word. Actually, it was younger than 30. I was actually 25 or so, in my early 20s. I don't always remember the exact age. It's been a long time. But yeah, in my 20s, I was already feeling that something had to change. It didn't feel right with me, didn't feel aligned, and I was still feeling like crap. I wasn't feeling well, and I just was like, I can't keep doing this. There's got to be a better way. My husband agreed with me, and I read what was then, I don't think the magazine's in print anymore, I'm not sure. I was looking online. Delicious magazine I read a long time ago. I was reading about what Big Pharma does to people, and I was like, yeah, I can't do this anymore. Herbs it is, essential as it is. I'd rather drink water with lemon juice than take a pill. And if I don't feel good, I'll just put a mint leaf in my mouth or some mint oil, but keep that toxic synthetic junk away from me. I don't want to know from it. Just keep it away from me. It was a, back and forth battle up and down with my family, but I just was like, no, I'm an adult now, and does it work for you? Fine. It works for me. Okay, so God bless you, but, I'm going to do my own thing. I was so grateful for that moment. It changed my life, and I think about it every day when I do all my natural remedies. And I'm in tears for joy and sadness, grief. But my husband and I are like, yeah, thank God we woke up. We just say it all the time. Thank God we woke up. The awakening was like the best, amazing blessing in our life. It was such a wonderful gift from God. I'm grateful every day, really. and I treasure it.
I know we talked about chemicals and we talked about other things like healthy living, because this is what I see in my life. As I get healthier, the more sensitive I get. And I'm not sure if you have this a similar experience.
Yes, and I'm glad that you mentioned it, because when I said I'm chemically sensitive, fragrance sensitive, that's exactly what happened with me. My husband is sensitive too, but I'm more, but we're both sensitive. But yes, the more you start, or should I say I did, but it happens with a lot of folks, and I've chatted with them. As I started living more naturally, and I started replacing, getting rid of all the toxic crap and moving and transitioning to the healthier stuff where you can actually pronounce ingredients. It was amazing, and it was also painful at the same time. I've always been sensitive to fragrance and couldn't stand it. And as I got older and it started getting worse and being more reformulated, even more toxic, I basically avoid them. I'm fine with people who wear essential oils, but if someone's wearing perfume or cologne, I can't stand it. It makes me very sick. With eating, yes, the taste buds change. When the taste buds get adapted to a healthy way of living and they start adjusting to, oh, wow, I'm not eating the synthetic junk, now I'm eating something really great. Wow, this is amazing. And your taste buds go, whoa, I like this now. Your cells change. Your cells get happy. Like, okay, I'm glad that you got rid of that toxin. I'm glad that you went this way. Good. Keep doing that. Keep eating natural. And yes, we're more vulnerable, unfortunately, in certain ways because, we haven't eaten that way in 30 years. So I don't even want to think about if we accidentally got exposed to something, which is never going to happen. But yeah, we became very sensitive and it's been rough, but it's worth it. I mean, it's tit for tat.
Yeah. Do you think there's a relation between living a holistic lifestyle and personal freedom and thinking for oneself?
Absolutely. We're free thinkers, and that's where, the whole black sheep comes in. Because when I know you can tell me I can say it however I want. The scamdemic, pandemic started. We didn't really know what was going on at first, but when we found out and we heard about 5G, we were like we're already big time free thinkers, and we're like, again, the MSM is messing with people, brainwashing, and I knew what made sense. Yes, I'm a free thinker, and I question everything. I'm a critical BS detector. Did I answer your question?
Yeah, when I started my holistic wellness journey, I also started to think for myself and being more integrated with myself. I felt like I was able to have my own judgments. I've researched it, and I found that to be very helpful.
Absolutely.
For sure.
Absolutely. The more I became holistic, the more natural I became. I felt closer to myself. I felt closer to God. I felt my inner voice, my intuition got stronger. I was able to hear it even better. And I became very, very more intuitive than ever. Because after all, natural living is close to nature, as long as they're not being sprayed with pesticides. But it all goes together. When you're close to nature and you get more into natural living and living naturally, you're closer to nature, and it all comes together, and you don't want to be part of the toxic world. It's just, I'm in it, but I'm not of it. Intuition is always guiding me. It's always keeping me in the right place, and my inner voice has been guiding me all this time with natural living. And it's just, and of course, my inner voice has saved my life many, many times. Absolutely.
Another question I have for you is, what's your go-to herbs right now?
Well, I did mention a few. Mint is my favorite for my tummy when I don't feel good. And as far as energy and it's helping my immune system, spring water with apple cider vinegar and lemon juice, sometimes cayenne. There's a whole I could mention a whole bunch of them. Turmeric is one of my favorites. I put turmeric in all of my home meals.
Anti-inflammation.
Yes, and I'm Ayurvedic. I make golden milk every night, either cold in summer or warm in the winter. But turmeric is the best. It's anti-inflammatory. Cinnamon, ginger. There's so many.
If I'm not mistaken, does sandalwood help you ground yourself?
Yes, absolutely. I am a Vata dosha, and I'm also Sagittarius, which makes things challenging. I'm a fire sign. My feathers get ruffled easily, and I'm a very sensitive person, sensitive woman. So I have to take care of my Vata dosha all the time, and sandalwood is just so healing. It calms me down. It's not in the Vata essential oil that I use, but sandalwood, it instantly, it calms me down, soothes me. I get grounded, it keeps my feet on the ground. It is the best. I love it so much. It is my favorite. It is my absolute favorite. I can't get enough of it.
For the people that don't know what Ayurvedic means, can you explain to them?
Yeah, I was about to, actually.
Yeah.
So Ayurveda is Sanskrit for science. Okay, science of life. I forgot for a second. science of life. It is a 5,000, actually more than 5,000 year modality. It's ancient. To give you the real abridged version, there's 3 doshas: Vata, Pitta, Kapha. I'm Vata. I'm slim, tiny, sensitive. My husband is similar, but he also has some Pitta in him. Pitta is someone who's really fast, intense, really like all over the place, and also very sharp. Kapha is a bigger build, heavier, bigger bones, and slower. So we all have a little bit of both, but there's always the primary two, and I'm a Vata Pitta. I took the quiz in Dr. Chopra's book, Patel. The quiz is in there. I recommend it to everybody. It's great. That's how I learned about it. And quantum healing, which I am going to read too. The Ayurveda has been part of our life for years. We do everything with Ayurvedic herbs. Yeah, and turmeric, I believe, is an Ayurvedic herb. Turmeric is in all of my Ayurvedic recipes. I don't just do herbal recipes. I do plant-based recipes too. So Ayurveda has been used by Veds for centuries. Maharishi, he taught transcendental meditation, and he also helped people understand Ayurveda. And I don't know everything about it because it's India Sanskrit language, but I've learned a lot about the rishis and the doshas. It's about balancing. It's about whenever the Vata is out of balance, or the Pitta or Kapha is out of balance, you got to get back into balance. So Vata's favorite season or best season is when it's cooler and when it's like autumn. Winter is a bit difficult. Summer is really hard because they're both really intense, really strong. It's very strong for a sensitive person. And Pittas can tolerate it better because they have more resilience. Kaphas even more. But then again, Kaphas need more warmth. They're not all the same. It just depends. I'm very sensitive. I'm the most sensitive of the doshas. It's not easy, but I find my way to get through. It really helps. It really is wonderful.
So you need that grounding, is what you're saying. You need that grounding essential oil to get you back to earth.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, I pretty much, I get flighty and I fly off the handle and I'm like, out into space. And my husband, who's a Capricorn, he's like, whoops, hold on. He says, okay, you get some pot oil, get grounded, get the sandalwood, get on the yoga mat, get grounded. And he's like, okay, come on, grounded. But yeah. But he does that a lot, and then I remind myself. But yeah, I have to get grounded. It's really important.
Well, thank you, Dana.
Thank you
for coming on to the show. I do really appreciate you taking your time out and sharing your experiences, and also, of course, helping your mother-in-law that needs that support.
Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity. It means a lot to me. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
And I was happy to share.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. And then we will see everyone on the next. Namaste.
Namaste. Okay. God bless.
God bless.